Hi, I just had a thought the other day. This is after viewing some video about China and how China was built up in the early 20th century and became a communist country. And by that I mean that it was deprived of so many things. The leadership in that country had put its people through so much trauma that things had changed drastically there. I won't get into all the details there, but people have become apathetic in many ways there for various reasons. And it has a lot to do with negative thinking that they sort of adopted as they grew up there because of the trauma that was inculcated into its society from the get-go. So from the early 20th century, the trauma was, they already had a lot of trauma, and millions of people died during the famine there because of poor leadership, or you could say evil leadership as well. But the people have become more evil-minded, you could say, or apathetic in many ways. And apathy means that they are not as caring as they used to be, maybe 100 years earlier or 200 years earlier. I'm pretty sure that's the truth. But you've heard stories where in China people would leave accident victims on the street without helping them. It's because they feel threatened to help them, and if they try to help them, those accident victims may turn on them, and it's just so evil. They turn on them, and they will be deprived of their property, or so on and so forth, because of a lie that the victim had made. So apparently this is something that happens every once in a while there. But now people have learned to basically not care about others, or just not really care about others. And what that means is that they may have a vestige of care, but they will not take action for that other person who needs it. And I understand that they're like that. If you open a door for someone else, they will pass through the door without even acknowledging you. In fact, if there are other people following them, you could be opening that door, and a line of people would go through the door without even acknowledging you or saying thank you, or taking the door in your place, to hold the door for other people. So it seems like they will try to take advantage of each other there. And it's a society itself that fosters a culture of self-centeredness, a culture that basically where when one person helps another person, the person who helps out basically becomes parasitized by society or by the people who use them. And so they quickly lose their desire to help other people who are strangers. Of course, this is not an accident. I'm sorry. When we give, so if a person in China smiles to an oncoming stranger, that stranger may or may not smile back. But if he doesn't smile back, what the smiling person does is actually offer a sacrifice to the person that he encounters, to give a little bit of love that day to him. So if I should go out in the streets and give a smile to some stranger out there, and that person doesn't give me any smile back, I am offering my sacrifice to them so that they can receive a little bit of love, a little bit of care, a little bit of goodwill that hopefully made that person's day a little bit better. So I sacrificed it by giving of myself, by humbling myself to be able to offer some goodwill to another person and not expecting anything back. And Jesus offered the ultimate expression of goodwill and love by giving up his life for the entirety of humanity. Humanity at that time did not recognize what he did, but when they look back upon what he did, they were able to appreciate his action. And it's the same way as the person who passes the smiling guy on the street. He may not have shown anything, he may not have taken action in any way, but he probably remembers that smile, so that when he looks back in his memories about that smile on that day, it actually gives him just brings him a little bit of happiness. But Jesus did it in such a big way that if we look back upon what he did, he gave himself for the entirety of humanity, so that we're able to look back and see, you know what, he didn't do anything wrong, but he was killed for it. He gave up his life for us, so that we could change, so that our lives can be changed by what he did. Just like the person who encounters the smiling person on the street, how in later on it works in his spirit, in his heart. And so I want to say that if we can offer something good to another person without expecting anything back, we don't actually have to see it as a sacrifice, but we offer our goodwill, we offer our love to that person. And if we don't expect anything back, we will be able to make the world a better place from our little corner of the world. So thank you for listening.